Welcome back, Patriots, for another dose of conservative news where we break down all the major headlines you need to know about heading into your work day, your work week, and we're unapologetic about it. We like to think we're a common sense show here, so if it's your first time joining us, well, welcome. We are a conservative news outlet, but we have a lot of independents that join us, meaning we're pretty reasonable here and just average Joe Americans that want nothing better to happen to our fellow Americans, our fellow patriots, extend our liberties and freedoms back to what they were supposed to be, and, well, just have a good old time here. So let's jump right into the news. We have Election Day is today, folks, and the handful of races we're watching will impact everything from 2026 to 2028 presidential cycle. So we're going to break down each state. Virginia, we'll jump into New York, we'll jump into California. That way we have a good kind of base of what the heck's going on here. That way when we do Dark MAGA later today, which is a good day to have Dark MAGA, by the way, and please make sure you join Rumble Premium to join us today for the election news. We'll be watching live coverage of that. That way we're all up to date on, well, who wins, who loses, what the heck's going on here. But we're getting ahead of ourselves because the Daily Wire will have a coast-to-coast coverage, which we might tap into tonight, from now until the last race is called, okay? So what's going on in Virginia? You have Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears is running against former Democratic Representative Abigail Spanberger. Republican John Reed is running against Democrat Gonzala Hashmi for Lieutenant Governor. And Republican Attorney General Jason Myers is running against Democrat Jay Jones. This is the guy that was calling for the deletion of conservatives. Virginians will also elect members to the Virginia House of Delegates, which currently has a 51-48 Democratic majority, so very slim majority there. The race have focused largely on issues such as immigration, education, taxes, and public safety. I think this is basically going to be something that's echoed across all forms of the races, and so in some way, shape, or form, all these are going to be involved. There's nothing you can really do about education. My answer to education: the kids don't care. The moment you start getting the parents to inculcate the values of caring about their education, that's the moment things are going to change. Until anything, you pour as much money as you want at the problem. The problem ain't the teachers. The problem isn't the administration. The problem isn't the textbooks. And I'll give you an example. I always share this example with people. If you can't learn algebra, you can't learn something that was taught like 2,000 plus years ago. Algebra was taught with sticks in the sand to people, folks. So if those guys were able to get it that were building freaking huts out of straw and mud, I think you can get it too. So it has nothing to do with, oh, the education system's poor. It has everything to do with the individual. They don't give two bleeps about their education, which is why they suck at it. Is that the answer anybody want to hear? But I told you at the onset of the show, we're unapologetic about things, and it's the facts. It's the truth. So many polls show Spanberger leading Earl Sears, okay, which is not a good thing. We want Earl Sears to win. In the Attorney General's race as a complete toss-up. So it's going to be slim for that one, but, well, we'll see what happens tonight. You never know. Election night, things could switch really quickly. However, the Attorney General's race became the focal point of the statewide races because of Jones, who was revealed in the text messages, which we covered. We don't need to hit that again. Speaking to the Daily Wire on the eve of the election, Earl Sears pitched herself as the common sense candidate and predicted she would carry the state because voters crave safety and security, which is true. Who would have thought Democrats would leave that? Who would have thought the Democrats would be like, yeah, we're just going to kind of throw out our entire duty of protecting our citizens, increasing law enforcement, funding law enforcement to the capability that you're able to actually protect your citizens in a way that, I don't know, they're not getting deleted on subway systems or just walking down the street. There was a video of a guy that was like, I think it was on Halloween, was about to take his kid trick-or-treating and just got jumped by a bunch of people, just got beat up in front of his kid. Hell, we all know the story of Batman. Bruce Wayne got messed up, dude. That dude started dressing up as a bat. I tell you what, man, you do something in front of a kid, dude, that's going to change somebody's life. You start cosplaying and walking around the streets of Gotham, beating people up. Mess you up, man. Well, Abigail Spanberger cannot be governor, she said. She's politically calculating and cunning. I used to think it was cowardice, but I see now, no, she wants power. She wants control, and she refuses to say the right thing, which is to tell Jay Jones to get out of the race. Well, no, I mean, it is the right thing, and she refuses to do so. But I think at heart, if you're supporting Jay Jones, I think you want this to happen. I really do believe this. I think a lot of politicians, I think evil is showing itself more than ever. And with that evil and that demonic presence, I think everything just crashed. Let me see here. Hold on a second. I think we might be back. I have no idea. Are we good? Let me check. That was crazy. Everything just went out. All right, we're back. All right. Whew. That was crazy. Yo, you start talking about Democrats wanting to delete conservatives, man, and Batman and Gotham, and everything goes array here. Whoa, my whole OBS just crashed. That was wild. All right, well, we're back. Hey, everybody simmer down. We're okay. Jesus. Act like you've done it before, Brad. Well, their actions say otherwise. And the reason why I mention that is because if you remember, you're a threat to democracy. You're a threat to the republic. You're a Nazi. You're a Hitler sympathizer. You hate the Jews. Like there's all this name calling against Republicans. And all we call the Democrats is, dude, you're a little weirdo. That's pretty much it. You know, we think you're silly and knuckleheads and you don't have your head on straight and that you were kicked in the head when you're a baby. But other than that, we don't really go out of our way too much. We don't call them Nazis. We call them socialists. That's because they call themselves socialist. And then when we call them a socialist, it's like a derogatory term to them. It's like, bro, you're literally a democratic socialist. You said so. Or when you call them a Marxist, they don't even care, which is, you know, I guess they haven't read Mao or Pol Pot or Stalin, any of those guys. They haven't done much reading, I suppose. The reading they've done is just the reading that they heard from the headlines. Oh, socialism's good. Communism's great. Capitalism sucks. It's so weird they keep giving me, I don't know what the hell this is, this underwear advertisement. I have not looked for any underwear. It's weird. New Jersey, Democratic Congresswoman, is that Mickey Sherrill and Republican Jack Ciattarelli are in a tightening race to replace Democratic Governor Phil Murphy over there in New Jersey. Ciattarelli ran against Murphy in 2021 and came close to a 48% to Murphy's just 51. So that was tight. President Donald Trump has vocally endorsed the Republican, including calling on the Orthodox Jewish community to back him over the weekend. Well, let's hope that does take place. We'll find out tonight. I need all of my supporters in the Orthodox community in Lakewood and its surrounding towns to vote in huge numbers for Jack Ciattarelli. He might win this turnaround. He actually might do it. I hope that he goes the distance. Brad getting the targeted ads. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, bro, that's a weird thing. Endorsement, he will never let you down. It's been up there for like 2 weeks, too. That's the weird thing. Trump wrote on Truth Social, Jack needs every single vote in the community, including all the yeshiva students who turned out to vote for me last year. Your votes in this election will save New Jersey, a state that is near and dear to my heart. It's so interesting that everybody's saying this about Democrat states. You need to save the state. You need to save it. I had an epiphany last night that I think that, and we'll get into Mamdani in a little bit. I think that if Mamdani wins New York City, I think New York City might actually get a little bit better for a short time, and then it will go down in the dumps. The reason why I have that thought is because when I look at LA, that LA has turned into such a heap of dumpster fire and garbage that really no matter who comes in after Gavin Newsom, I feel like it's hit rock bottom, that it's pretty hard to make it worse. That really you are keeping it at worse, but that worse is not as worse as it was. We'll see. I could be wrong, but I think New York City's so bad and it's so down that even though that guy's a Democratic socialist and he has to work within the purview of his party, I think it might actually get a tiny bit better. And I'm not kidding. Might be. We'll see. Let's get to New York City. Let's get to Mamdani. The New York City mayoral race has become a national phenomenon with the three-way contest between Zohran Mamdani, Republican Curtis Sliwa, who's not going to win, and former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who lost the Democratic primary, but is now in the race as an independent. Mind you, Trump came out and endorsed Cuomo, which we'll get to. And so did Elon Musk. It's that whole race, dude. If you're New York City, dude, that's the best you got. Think about that. Out of millions of people, millions, this is the best that New York has to offer. These three guys. That's the best. Mamdani, Sliwa, and Cuomo. More than 735,000 New Yorkers have turned out for early voting, marking a record turnout. The Daily Wire's Jenny Taylor has a helpful breakdown of the latest poll here. Before we get to that, though, I want to show you this. This was shared on X this morning by Elon Musk. And here it is. He posted this. The New York City ballot form is a scam. No ID is required. Other mayoral candidates appear twice. Cuomo's name is in the bottom right. So interesting stuff there. I can't even read that. Some of that is small. Eric Adams. Jeez, dude. Yeah, it's hard to read. Sliwa. Curtis. Where the Cuomo's right here. What is he talking about? Is the bottom right? It is weird. It is weird they do it like that. Look how they put Zohran Mamdani first. And it wasn't even like they went in maybe they did go. No, they didn't even go in alphabetical order. Oh, they got a conservative running. Who would have thought? Huh. Well, anyways, that's a thing. No ID. No problem. Polling. You think these illegal immigrants want Zohran Mamdani, who's going to give them all these funding once again? Remember, my whole video of the SNAP benefits that were going to Americans was about $7.50 something cents. But then New York City does a prepaid debit card for illegal immigrants, getting almost $13. It's like, it's just wild. And that's what they want more of. And that's why they know that. And that's why those illegal immigrants will vote, if possible, in this election. Polling has consistently shown Mamdani ahead, and he's been known for socialist policies and proposals, including freezing rent, grocery stores owned by the local government, and scrapping bus fares. According to his platform, he also wants the minimum wage in the city to increase to $30 by the year 2030. I was at Panda Express not too long ago, and I got a video of it, and I should actually post it. Let me double check, for a service worker at Panda Express, I have it right here. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. Can you see that? Let me see. There you go. Look at that bottom one. $20. Service and kitchen. Hold on, I get it for you. It's $21.25. I took a video of it. Look at this pricing. Isn't that crazy? Dude, isn't that nuts? Service and kitchen team. To serve food on a plate at Panda Express in Southern California, you will start at $21 an hour all the way to $25 an hour. Yo, that is crazy. Folks, that's almost $44,000. If you got $21 an hour, that's $44,000 a year. So you're going to get paid to scoop food, cooked food. You don't do anything. To take a ladle and scoop cooked food onto a plate for somebody that tells you what they want. And you could get paid upwards of $52,000 a year for that job. 52 grand to scoop food onto a plate, dude. And then to go around the corner, make sure you wipe off with your dirty ass rag all the tables. Oh, wow. And then they all wonder and complain why Panda Express, they can't get ahead in life. Everything's so expensive. I don't understand it. So legitimately, we're going in the realm where the top echelon of IQ jobs is staying stagnant while the bottom jobs of low IQ is going up. And what they're having a problem with is finding those high IQ jobs now. And why would you? Why would you want to go through the stress of life knowing, hey, I can cut my pay by like 15,000 and I can just go scrub some tables and not have to think all day. As somebody that has to think all day and do calculations all day, it's tiring, man. And so is a blue collar job. It's tiring as well. I've done both. But I've also done jobs where I don't have to think before and life is real easy. I'll tell you, life is real easy. When you go to work and you don't have to turn on your brain whatsoever, you can do whatever the hell you want. All right, where the hell was I? Oh, I was talking about Mamdani. That's right. See, it was that turn off my brain. Mamdani popped in my head. I knew exactly who I was talking about right there. Now, before I would have said Joe Biden. That's the funny thing. For years, and I'm surprised I didn't just say Joe Biden out of a reflex. So Cuomo, the campaign has served as an attempt at a political comeback following his resignation over sexual harassment allegations. And I always take that stuff with a grain of salt. I don't know. I don't know if that happened or not. But, as during the Me Too, believe all women. A woman can say anything she wants about you. You got to believe her. His successor, Governor Kathy Hochul, has backed Mamdani instead, as Trump said in a 60 Minutes interview that he's not a fan of Cuomo one way or the other. But if he's going to be between a bad Democrat and a communist, I'm going to pick the bad Democrat all the time, to be honest with you. Yeah. That line of thinking is correct. What's the worst of two evils? I mean, Cuomo is kind of evil, man. The dude freaking put elderly folks together with COVID and deleted them all. And New Yorkers are like, nah, well, which one's better, Zoram or Cuomo? A communist or, I guess a socialist, but guy that killed a bunch of people versus a guy that wants to try to starve a bunch of people. It's so nuts. It is so nuts. Speaking of nutso, we got my state of California. Oh, God. I know. See, what the hell is this stuff up here, dude? I swear, that makes me seem like I search for stuff on the internet. It's weird as shit. I don't know what any of this is. Like cat leggings? Like, I don't know, Jesus. California Proposition 50 would give the state permission to redraw congressional district maps until 2030 in order to favor Democrats. It's so funny how all these advertisements with Barack Obama are coming out in my state right now. It's like, you need to save democracy. Get back at Donald Trump. It's like, no, Barack, we're not going to save democracy with Democrats. We know what you guys are trying to do with Operation Arctic Frost, Operation Crossfire Hurricane, what you did with the IRS to go after your political opponents. Yeah, we know everything you guys did. You're not about democracy. You're about surveilling your political opponents and going after them. The move was put forward by leading Democrats in the state to counteract a move by Texas to redraw their maps to favor Republicans, which, by the way, California is actually going against their own constitution to do something like this, I would like to point out. So they wanted this in the first place, but now that they're not getting their way with how Texas is legally doing the redistrictings, well, now they're not getting their way, so they want to throw and ditch their constitution. Oh, forget that. Kind of like how Nancy Pelosi ripped up Trump's speech during the State of the Union. That's basically what they're doing with their constitution here. So when it doesn't fit their narrative, it doesn't work with them, well, let's just tear it up. Let's just do what we can. And it's so funny because, California isn't going to gerrymander their whole state. It's like, bro, you've been doing this my entire lifetime. The whole Democratic Party has done it relentlessly. And that is why some states legitimately have almost 50% Republicans and 0 seats. And it's not just one or two. It is multiple Democrat states that have the tune of anywhere from 35 to 48% Republican and not a single seat. Not even one. And I mean that in all literal sense, because, people exaggerate all the time. They'll say, oh, well, there's not any, but there's still some, right? No. I mean 0, zilch, nada, nothing. If I knew it in different languages, I'd give it to you, but I don't. That's what she said. According to the California Secretary of State website, the pro argument is that it approves temporary emergency congressional district maps to counter Donald Trump's scheme to rig next year's congressional election. It's always Trump, and reaffirming California's commitment to independent, nonpartisan redistricting after the next census. We got to get it to the orange Cheeto man. Oh, his schemes. Trump's over there living his best life to give 2 craps about California, things in the dumpster. It's just like, geez, dude. My state has a bunch of idiots. It really does. It has a bunch. I mean, every state does, right? Every state does. We just have more. On the side against the ballot measure, the argument is that the proposition is dismantling safeguards that keep elections fair, removes requirements to keep local communities together, and eliminates voter protection that ban maps designed for political parties or favor political parties, and says it was written by politicians for politicians. The no side has significantly outspent by proponents on the measure, which includes Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, former Speaker of the House. Donors include insurance giants Blue Shield of California, which gave $500,000 to Newsom's ballot measure committee. I have never seen more. I don't think I've ever in my lifetime more push for a proposition than ever before. In my mailbox, since this whole thing has been pushed, you'll have multiples of the same advertisement in your mailbox. You know, like sometimes I'll just throw one in there, and then you'll kind of get a different one later on from like a different organization, but it's, you know, they're all part of the same kind of basket. Not this one. Dude, I'm getting multiples of the same Prop 50 in there. So I have like 5 of them, and then I just walk it over just right in the recycle bin. I don't even look at it. I just Prop 50, bam. Because right there in your face, right? And you have Barack Obama on it, and you got Gavin Newsom. Oh, you're going to change democracy, fight against Trump. It's like, all right. Just shows you that they're preying on people who have no idea how government works. Yeah, you're going to blame the president of the United States for redistricting. What a bunch of idiots. What a bunch of freaking idiots. If Texas had backed off, California would have backed off, Pelosi wrote last week. Does anybody believe that? Really? Freaking Nancy lying through her dentures. But Trump insisted on Texas starting this fight. So California will meet this moment and win big on Tuesday to defend our health care and our democracy. Health care you can't afford. No. And by the way, I mean that literally. Gavin Newsom gave illegals free health care, and then he was baffled. I mean, this guy was stunned that it cost so much money, because he said himself, he goes, I didn't think so many people would reach for the free health care. Really, you idiot? Have you never stood outside and see people stand in line across freaking blocks to get a free t-shirt from like Trader Joe's or something, some grocery store? They'll stand out line for free for anything. What are you talking about? And then when you got a bunch of illegals that want their health care for free, of course they're going to take it, to the tune of billions of dollars, by the way, which blew out our budget. The guy was baffled. What an idiot. And he wants to be president. God. He's slimy, man. That guy, there's always been TV shows that have like an actor playing the devil. That guy, Gavin Newsom, really does look like somebody that could play Satan. Just from his sliminess. You know, Satan's described in the scriptures as crafty, kind of manipulative, uses both truth and lies in the same sentence. Very, very cunning. I'm going to be warned. I mean, I have been. I'm going to be warning you guys about that guy for years to come, because he's going to run in 2028, and you got to be ready for it, because he has a really good chance of winning. Vote no because each and every citizen deserves fair representation. Vote no because California is worth fighting for, he added. And that comes from Kevin Kiley. So we have that there. We also have election experts unpack the keys to GOP success in New Jersey, Virginia, with one big unknown. So Citarelli, by just 1 point, is where the poll is at from Atlas Intel. So Citarelli is being beaten out by Cheryl by 1 point. So that's really close there, over there in, oh God, what state is that? Jersey and Virginia? Jersey? I don't think we need to unpack this again. I'd like to get to some more news here. The one that I wanted to tell you is Trump's backing Cuomo. So there's that. And then also Elon Musk is encouraging New Yorkers to back Cuomo as well, which kind of makes sense for Trump and Elon. I mean, they were both originally Democrats. Elon is still a Democrat. He was just on Joe Rogan's podcast and said how hilarious it is that that Democrats actually think that him and Joe Rogan are Republicans. I mean, I even know, like, RFK's not a Republican. Tulsi Gabbard, I think she's a registered Republican now. She's not really a Republican. Her ideals are still Democrat. It's just that the Republicans hold more of her viewpoints right now than Democrats do, because Democrats went so far left. Tim Pool is not a Republican, but they say that he is. It's so funny. And that's why I mentioned, if you are anything against the left in any way, shape, or form, you're just a Republican, which is very, very odd. And that means you went really, I mean, you got so far left, it's not even visible anymore. There's the Mamdani effect right now. Abbott says he'll impose 100% tariffs on New Yorkers moving to Texas after election. Shit. Oh, Abbott, you freaking sly dude. Here we go. With the strongest possibility that Democratic Marxist Islamist mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani, there's a tongue twister for you, may be elected mayor of New York City on Tuesday night. Texas Governor Greg Abbott sights are squarely on New Yorkers, anticipating the mass escape from New York that might occur with Mamdani's victory. I think there was a poll out that said somewhere, was it like 6 to 9% or something like that of New Yorkers would move out if Mamdani wins. I don't think that's true. That seems very high. That's almost every 1 in 10 people. I don't think that's true. Could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, that's what I'm most excited. I want Mamdani to win. I continue to say that. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm really curious as an experiment to see what happens here. And I don't think he's going to push very socialist ideas because, again, he has to move in the purview and navigate in the purview of not just the law, but also his own party. And remember, his own party can't take that kind of hit and that type of a fallen experiment for the 2028 election because everybody's just going to point at Democratic policies in New York City and California. I mean, that is a great, great example, especially when you have most likely Kamala Harris running again. You'll probably have Gavin Newsom running as well. And then you take that into effect of, hey, these guys are basically forms of socialism without saying it. Well, let's look at a guy that's really open to the socialist ideas named Mamdani and Bernie Sanders. And now you have a bunch of examples. So I don't think it's going to be as bad as people say it's going to be. But I think if he had his way, it would be bad. After the polls close tomorrow night, I will impose 100% tariff on anyone moving to Texas from New York City, which I totally understand about that because when you have people fleeing from New York City or California, which is what's been happening already from California to Texas, it changes your culture and it could change the dynamics of your House seats because more people are going to vote Democrat because these people crap all over their own state and then they leave their state and they go and vote for the same policies over in the state that you've been living in your entire life that has been great. I never understood it, man. And I was on a cruise. This was like last year. And I was talking to a family. I was in the pool in the back of the ship. And there's this guy there and he looked Republican. You know, some guys just look Republican. I look Republican. And I struck up a conversation with him. And it was really gross because he was finishing his beer. And the beer was out like the very bottom of his mug. He's like, hey, what are you drinking there? And he goes, this is a true story, by the way. Hand to God. He goes, oh, do you want to try it? Mind you, there's like this much left in his cup, like the mug. And I go, no, I'm okay. And he goes, no, I insist. Why don't you try some? And like, I'm looking over at my wife, like, hey, you going to step in here and help me out? Like, get what the fuck's going on here? And I go, no, I'm like, really, I'm good. That's cool. I really appreciate the offer. Like, I'm being a nice guy about it. I don't know who he is. He goes, no, come on, like, try it. I'm like, what? Like, I said, no, like, I'm really good. Like, I'm not drinking yet. Like, I'm fine. Like, who the hell offers you their beer with that? Like, first of all, I've never met this guy my entire life. I mean, super nice guy, I guess. But then, like, with that much beer, with all the spit and all the backwash, probably like floating cookies and breadcrumbs in there. I don't know. Well, he starts talking, and he moved from Oregon. So this tells you everything you need to know right there. Right? Portland, Oregon. I think it was either Portland, Oregon or Seattle, Washington. It was one of the two. And moved to Florida, dude. And the guy was complaining how bad the area was where he was coming from. And again, it was either Portland, Oregon or Seattle, Washington, one or the other. And I'm thinking, oh, if this guy's crapping on his area like this, guy's definitely probably a conservative or Republican. I mean, and he moved to Florida. I mean, heck, and it's all lining up for me. I got a new friend. Well, turns out the dude is a pretty left-leaning Democrat, man. And he thought, because I was striking up a conversation with him, because I'm a freaking chameleon, man. Chameleon. That he thought I was a Democrat. See, I've been so good at going cognito mode in this state, from all the way from college and my blue books having to write like a freaking lefty. I'm like, okay, I love dressing up as a woman. I can transition into anything I want. I was so good at transitioning and making people think I was a Bernie supporter For so many years, by the way, people thought I loved Bernie for so many years, like decades almost, that he thought I was a Democrat. It's remarkable. I guess you can transition. So anyways, he's voting for all those crazy things that he fled from is the point that I was trying to get at. The long answer to a long story that should have been a short one. Thanks for hanging in there, folks. This move fits neatly into Abbott's broader pattern of blending culture war politics with aggressive state policy. Over the past year, he's made it clear that leftist ideologies, there he goes, exactly what I was talking about, exactly what I was mentioning, especially in academia, won't be welcomed in the Lone Star State. Isn't there another one? You guys can correct me in the chat because you'll remember this. There's a state that if you left teaching and moved to that specific state, you had to take a basically like some sort of exam that's based on the American values of the country, like the Constitution, the amendments, well, the amendments, Constitution, like the founding documents, stuff like that. I forgot what state is implementing that for teachers, though, because they're tired of the indoctrination happening in the classroom. Texas is targeting professors who are more focused on pushing leftist ideologies rather than preparing students to lead our nation. He wrote last month, "We must end indoctrination and return to education fundamentals at all levels of education." You know what I have found is that when I speak positively about the United States in the classroom, that it's almost as if like I feel like I'm breaking the law or that I'm doing something wrong. Isn't it an odd thing to have that feeling that when you speak positively about your nation, that you're almost worried about losing your job? And please understand, I'm as serious as I could possibly be. It's a weird feeling. I don't know if I'm supposed to have that type of feeling, but I know, and I've shared this with you guys before, every morning I am legitimately, and this has been going on for years, every morning we do the Pledge of Allegiance. For years, I've been the only person in my room to ever say the Pledge of Allegiance out loud. For years. There has been sporadic, there has been like one or two sporadic, it's not a consistent thing, that have done it. And I'm like, whoa, okay, somebody's saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and then they stop. I am legitimately every morning the only person to ever say it out loud. So you will hear my voice. You won't hear anybody else's. Because I'm proud of my damn country. I freaking love this place. There ain't no better place. And I pledge allegiance to this country. I don't pledge allegiance to other countries. Whoever doesn't say it, I do think, I'm like, okay, who are you pledging allegiance to, man? And if so, why the hell are you not living there? And if because you're young and you haven't had an opportunity to move yet, don't worry, flights are cheap. You could get your ass out of here real quick if you don't want to pledge allegiance to the United States, but you want to live here. A lot of other places to live. There's 192, 93 other countries registered in the United Nations. Your ass can get over there real quick, but they won't do it. That's Democrat mentality, man. They love to crap on things, but live there. See, people have asked, well, Brad, you crap on California. Why do you live there? Because I technically don't live in California. And what I mean by that is I live in California. I guess the correct verbiage is I technically do live here, but I don't live here. I live in Orange County, dude. If anybody knows Orange County, this is called Republican territory. This is MAGA country. By statistics, Orange County Republicans are more Republican than the majority of all other Republicans in this country. And I have always said this since, if you go back to like 4 or 5 years ago, if you have a Republican that leaves from Orange County, California, or just California in general, and comes to your state, I've always said, dude, you better open up your doors to those people because they are going to be more hardcore Republican and more hardcore for your values and holding to the Constitution than probably anybody else that you have in your life. The people here that are MAGA supporters are hardcore. You guys got to love them. So anyways, that's why I say I don't really feel it because I'm not in LA County. I'm not in these Democrat dominated areas. You know, I actually live where there's no graffiti. I live where there's no freaking trash on the side of the freeway for the most part. I don't live where there's a lot of gang members. There's homeless people because they import them in from, or they export them in from, LA County into our area. But they get pushed out pretty quickly. So Abbott's going to put tariffs on them. Abbott's 100% tariff joke signals a zero tolerance stance for residents leaving New York City to Texas. Yeah, basically saying, don't come. They don't want you. I don't want you either. So I don't know where they're going to be welcomed, but it ain't going to be, we don't want them in California. Abbott doesn't want them in Texas. In the same way, Texas doesn't want Californians unless you're Republican. None of that. Nanya. Alrighty, let's do a little bit of a palate cleanser here. I've been talking for a long time. Let's do this. normally I like watching more videos, but that'll be for Dark Maga. We're going to be watching the live news coverage of the election tonight and having a little bit of fun in the chat. Again, make sure you check out Dark Maga tonight at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It will be on Rumble Premium only, so we will not be on X. We will not be on YouTube. We need to get our hours in, and I might start streaming early, so it might even be before 4 p.m., just a heads up for everybody else. Well, Jennings here is on CNN. I guess he has not moved over from CBS. Maybe they didn't offer him enough money. But, well, let's just kind of see what he has to say here. A little palate cleanser for us.
Against the CR because the CR wasn't going to take care of people's health insurance. Health care was going to go up. I didn't vote for that CR. Scott might remember Republicans didn't vote for the CR previously, the same CR in different years. In fact, Republicans removed a Speaker of the House. We forget about that, because he put a CR on the floor. So,
but you did vote against the SNAP benefits, then you admit.
I did not vote against the SNAP.
If you had voted for the CR,
would
we have SNAP right now?
Scott,
we would.
What I voted for was a CR that was going to see people in Florida have their health insurance go up almost 100%.
No,
I got
these are separate issues.
No, I got 25,000 people in my district that are going to lose their health insurance because this CR didn't have.
And how many do you have going to lose their SNAP?
Okay. Well, first of all, let's talk about SNAP for a second. Why did the Republicans send $40 billion to Argentina? Where is that money,
That's
Scott? Why didn't that go to
swap.
Americans? Why? That's America first.
It's a credit
that's
swap.
America.
We're going to turn a profit on
That's
that.
America first. We're sending money to Argentina.
If we're going to turn a profit on it, then that makes me hear that it's a loan. And that was my main question about that $40 billion that Trump was sending them, is that I'm still not in favor of it happening because we need that $40 billion here. But if it's on loan and if there's an interest on it, I'm all for making more money here. So if Scott's saying it's on credit, then I'll take his word for it for now. But it was a good punch by this guy.
Rather than taking care of people's SNAP benefits. I would have loved to have been at Mar-a-Lago while the girls were in the martini glasses when they were trying to figure out what to do with the judge's order. You know, half the room was probably like, should we pay it? Should we not pay it? And then someone was like, oh, I have a great idea. Let the subjects only get half their rations. I mean, they're only going to give half the SNAP benefits to these people.
How many have the Democrats voted to give?
Scott,
Zero.
look at the polling.
Democrats have repeatedly voted to give zero of SNAP benefits. I'm sorry. This is not, this whole thing could have been averted if Democrats had done what they did in March, which is vote for Joe Biden's budget.
Only going to give half.
They have refused to do it. A couple of Democrats in the Senate, like John Fetterman, have shown some courage and backbone. But the bottom line is this party is in thrall to the radical left. That's why they've changed their position from March until now. And that's why people are not getting their SNAP benefits. It's why federal law enforcement isn't being paid. It's why Trump's having to scramble to pay the military. This is a Democratic shutdown because of political fear.
Does this guy look like somebody that's going to try to sell you a car, but he's going to rip you off? Right? He's like that weasel that's trying to just rip you off by selling you a car that you don't even want in the first place. You're actually not even at a dealership. You know what I mean? You're just eating dinner with your family. The guy's trying to sell you something. Freaking weasel. I wouldn't believe this guy if he told me anything. This guy could tell me my name, I still wouldn't believe him. Oh my gosh. This is freaking nutso, dude. These people are crazy. Let's see what's trending here. Let's just do a little bit of fun here right now. Because most of the news today is about the election, so it's a little dull and it's a little sleepy. You know what I mean? I felt like I was running C-SPAN for a little while there for the first 30 minutes of the show. So if you're still here and you're not sleeping, I appreciate you. Thank you. Hit that like button. We do this each and every morning. We watch more videos, but let's get into a couple of the things that are trending. Some of you talked about this in the chat already. I do want to get to it, and that is former Vice President Dick Cheney dies at 84 from pneumonia complications. Yikes. That's a tough way to go, man. Dick Cheney, who served as vice president under George W. Bush and influenced U.S. policy in the post-9/11 era, died on November 3rd at the age of 84 due to complications from pneumonia and cardiac disease. Oh, geez. Surrounded by family, including wife Lynn and daughters Liz and Mary. Hey, some of you don't like Dick Cheney. Some of you don't like his family. The guy still has a family. And I don't wish any ill will on him or his family or anything like that. It's very sad. That is a very, very sad thing. Lived long though, 84. 84 is a good length of life. And the guy lived to be vice president, man. So made some mistakes for sure, but some big mistakes like the invasion of Iraq. He advocated for it. God, it'd be so weird to be an adult when that happened. You know what I mean? When that invasion happened, I was still in middle school. It'd be so weird to be an adult and like see what the media coverage was like back then and have kind of the, I don't say wisdom because I don't think I have a ton of wisdom, but the understanding of how things work now. And if I would have been like swindled into thinking we should go and invade Iraq, I don't know. I might have been. I might have been wooed by it. Might have been moved by it. All right, there's some more stuff here. The whistleblower alleges BBC doctored Trump. This one also I saw last night, even though it says updated 8 minutes ago. I did see this last night, this clip. A leaked memo from former BBC advisor Michael Prescott accuses producers of the October 2024 Panorama episode, Trump, A Second Chance, of splicing clips from Donald Trump's January 6, 2021 rally speech separated by 54 minutes to misleadingly imply he incited the Capitol riot. So let's see kind of what they got here.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down.
Wow, they did.
To the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
That's crazy.
We're going to walk down.
Wow. And mind you, they always leave the peaceful part out and all that stuff because it fits their narrative. See, they get away with liars. And the Democrats are really smart with doing this because there are a lot of Americans that are just too stupid to be able to do their own research and see. And I've been a victim of this before. I'm a victim. Where you don't do your own research and you kind of just take it. But now that happened a while ago. Now, when I see a clip, I'm even like, I'm always skeptical now, especially with AI. I'm like, I don't know if that's real or not. And that mentality needs to be inculcated in all of us, by the way. Like everybody in the chat, and I'm not saying you don't have this right now. I think going forward, we should all be asking questions, no matter who's talking, what we see, whether it's Trump or what. We should always in the back of our mind go, I don't know if he even really said that with AI. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Like your BS meter needs to be really, really good. There's more news out where federal agents nab Aragua gang member in Portland raid. Oh, what are you doing in Portland, brother? What are you doing in Portland, brother? U.S. Border Patrol Special Operations Group arrested a Venezuelan national affiliated with the Aragua gang and 8 other undocumented Venezuelan immigrants with violent criminal histories during a Tuesday raid in Portland. So if they have a violent criminal history, that means that we know who they are. Weird. And we'll get to that in just one moment because Sarah Adams did post a clip, not a clip, but a posting on X about kind of something very similar. The operation focused on narcotics and weapons trafficking in the sanctuary city, which had just codified policies restricting cooperation with federal immigration authorities. All 9 individuals faced deportation as part of broader federal efforts to combat the gang's use of expansion. So we have this here. Let's see what this clip is all about from Nick Sorter. Nick Sorter has been attacked by Antifa, by the way. And Nick Sorter was the one that got arrested, not Antifa.
You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my song. I was born this way, been loud too long. You can hate my style, you can roll your eyes, but I ain't slowing down. I was born to rise, so kick them rocks. You don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.
It kind of sounds like that song is all black and gold. I'm glittering gold. That's a cool song, right? That kind of took me for a turn. I was not expecting that, but I will take it. Brad, are you going to be covering the fracturing of the right that's happening? I am not. No, I don't get involved in all that drama. I think I think between Tucker Carlson fighting Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, and fighting with Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens is in the mix, this and that. I don't get involved in all that. We got actual news to cover. I don't need the drama. People can cover that. They can focus on that. They're the big dogs. I'm a little fish here. I want to cover the news and what I think is important. I don't like to get into all that drama of, oh, well, Nick Fuentes said this and Ben Shapiro said that. I mean, I literally have my Ben Shapiro shirt on, speaking of, but they can cover that. That's between them. It's not between me. And I don't need to get involved in it. I have my opinions And yeah, I got my own stuff to cover. I ain't dipping my foot in there. And I'm kind of known for that. I don't like getting into the drama and all that other stuff with other people. It's not my fight. I stay out of it. Alrighty. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is the ballot scam. I still don't get it though. I don't understand what he's complaining about. Is it just because Cuomo is down here at the bottom? It is a little odd they put Zohran Mamdani first. You know what I mean? Like, why would they put Andrew Cuomo or anybody? I mean, why would Zohran be first? You know what I mean? Like the first name you're going to read. So it's a little odd. What the hell is this at the top? Democratic, Republican, Conservative, but then it gives them like protect animals. Fight and like, what is this stuff? Fight and deliver integrity. What the hell am I looking at here? Jesus, dude. What happened to our country? What happened to our country, man? Nonsense. New York City doesn't have voter ID laws. In New York, the state, multiple parties can endorse the same candidate, so some can appear multiple times. Sliwa, Republican, is also listed twice. Eric Adams is on the ballot because he dropped out too late. Yeah, some things just go over people's heads. They really do. Maybe you don't like the rules, fine, but posting this stuff on X with zero context makes people think there is fraud or cheating. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, just by the way that you did this, it'd make more sense if you did things in alphabetical order. At least there's a rhyme or reason for that. That would be part. And maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe there is a way that they organize this stuff. But no, I mean, I think that could be a form of cheating. Also, not having voter ID laws is cheating. That is cheating, in my opinion. Yeah, it's called fraud because there are people that are voting illegally. It is happening. We actually have caught people, and then at the same time span, people are telling that it's not real. Alrighty, well, SNAP benefits is still people are starting to loot stores for lack of SNAP. Again, it's on average. Actually, let me see if I could find it. This was echoed by Adam Carolla, where he was talking about the SNAP benefits right here.
SNAP's going to run out. Okay, listen to me, everybody.
Listen to what he has to say. It's bonkers.
This whole thing of like 40 million people are going to go hungry. First off, those 40 million people average an extra 40 pounds on them over the average working American. If you took the average person that's on SNAP getting free food and the average person that gets no free food from the government, the average female who gets no free food from the government is 146 pounds. The average SNAP recipient is 211 pounds. So is it a food? I know. First off, we talk about going hungry. Nobody could benefit from a nice fast more than the SNAP recipients.
It's meal food. What do they call it? Food insecurity. It's food insecurity.
It's food insecurity. Is there one person that's not going to eat?
No.
Is there anyone's going to go hungry?
Same thing with healthcare, man. Right. I keep saying it. There's like nobody's going to get refused healthcare ever in this country.
Right.
I don't care who you are, you're going to get it.
I don't know what happened to Drew, dude, but that is a nasty. I mean, that's clearly surgical. But damn, bro. That is a lot of stitches, and you got opened up. And he's a black eye over here, man. Damn, dude. Bro got messed up. But that's what I was bringing up is this whole SNAP thing. I mean, he's not wrong. He might have exaggerated it, but like how many videos of the SNAP recipients did we see, which is a supplemental nutrition? It's not that that's what's supposed to feed you. That's what it's turned into. It's never supposed to be paying for all your groceries. It's just, hey, I don't have enough money for a totality of groceries. Maybe you got $50 to spend on groceries. Hey, we get it. You might need another 50 or something like that. Here's another $50 to throw your way for supplemental groceries. Not, oh, this is paying for all my groceries, but that's what it's turned into, to the point where actually you're getting more food than me, and I'm the one that's paying into the system. Damn. That's what this gentleman had to say.
This program is keeping a lot of people unmarried, uneducated, don't want to, do anything that will hinder their opportunity, their chance to lose their benefits.
Only in America do we have people that have $1,200 iPhones checking to see if their SNAP benefits hit.
Anyone who's on welfare, not for a disability, but because they can't provide for themselves, should not have the ability to vote in our society.
I don't have kids, but there's no way that I have kids and I'm waiting on somebody else to feed them.
It does raise interesting questions about in a nation that is battling obesity, whether or not 12% of Americans should be on food welfare and what kind of incentives we're actually creating out there in America.
This program.
Our entire culture has been a welfare state for a long time. And it's not, we don't need to be rocket scientists about this or anything of the sort. If you incentivize a certain behavior, you're going to get more of that behavior that you incentivize. Everybody knows this. And for some reason, we always act stupid and pretend like, oh my God. I mean, there's literally what those catchphrases of, like feeding two birds. There's like these bird phrases that you guys know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, yeah, you don't feed the birds because they'll keep coming or something like that. There's all these phrases we have, don't bite the hand that feeds you, like all that stuff. Those phrases that are like been catchy for decades and decades are there for a reason. So why would these people bother working? Why? Well, there's no reason as to why they have to get up off their you-know-what and do anything, and they become obese. Every video we've seen of people on EBT are obese, by the way. There was not a single person, I think, that we watched that was on Snap, to be specific, that was like not obese. Mind you, technically, I'm considered obese, by the way. Because I'm supposed to be a lot smaller. I mean, I'm not heavy. Like if you looked at me, I just look like a normal athlete, but I am technically obese for my height. I'm about 5'10", but that's here nor there. So anyways, the top 5 states or districts on food stamps.
Most government programs, SNAP is susceptible to abuse, and there are several types of abuse that we've become familiar with. One is that a cashier runs a $100 EBT card transaction for food, but gives the customers $50 in cash instead of groceries. Or a recipient sells the balance to another person of their EBT card. You can also falsify your application by claiming fewer household members or less income. You can use fake pay stubs or falsify your address to meet eligibility requirements. And then there's the skimmers. Skimmers are placed on grocery checkout terminals, and it copies EBT data to be later used in making duplicate cards. Crazy. So with that in mind, it's fair to ask, is SNAP serving its purpose? Are we doing enough to protect the program for the Americans who truly need it?
Nope.
There's an interesting trend on social media right now. It's a trend where black men are suggesting the expiration of SNAP benefits might actually be a blessing in disguise.
Yep. Or we just watched that. But I think there's some truth to that. And I think the whole program needs to be shut down. I think it needs to be shut down and rebuilt, meaning people need to reapply. They need to do their paperwork. I think there needs to be audits taking place. And I think people should have an opportunity to get SNAP benefits. But not 42 million people. That's crazy, dude. 42 million people on SNAP. It is freaking head spinning. Let's see what else we got here in the news. Let's scroll through some stuff. Lauren Chen is back. So if you didn't know this, Lauren Chen is back. She's going through a tough time. We've posted her GoFundMe. And I'm interested to see what happens with her, and I don't know if it was with the Biden administration, with the FBI and stuff, but she had her life torn apart. But let's see what she has to say.
Get ready, New Yorkers, because it looks like your city is about to become an unaffordable, crime-ridden nightmare. And I mean, even more so than it already is. At this point, Mamdani is all but guaranteed to win the mayoral race. His favorability, at least on sites like Kalshi, is sitting at 89%, which, yes, isn't as high as it has been, but that's still pretty dang high. Like, can someone please explain to me how this is real life? First off, who can forget the fact that he actually referred to the NYPD as prejudiced and labeled them a threat to public safety? But that's no reason to worry about your security, New Yorkers, especially on public transit, because Mamdani has a plan for that. make it free.
I think it's one of the key reasons why we have to make buses free is because it reduces the assaults on bus drivers. It creates a safer work environment.
Bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off. And my personal favorite, let's talk about the fact that Mamdani apparently wants to set aside $100 million of taxpayer money to go toward legal counsel for illegal immigrants. Wow. How is that going to work when New Yorkers are struggling to pay their bills, you might be wondering? Well, don't worry about that either, because Mamdani has plans to make housing and groceries more affordable. What are those plans, you might be wondering? Well, they're essentially make the government make those things cheaper. Frankly, I'm just surprised no one else has thought of that before.
And by the way, nobody thinks about the fact that even though those grocery stores may be making things cheaper, let's just say, and build the case for that, is that you're going to have less options in choosing which types of groceries you want. And this was a really great point in terms of support of capitalism, that when we go to the grocery store, you got like 40 different types of juices that you can get because all those companies are in the market competing for you to buy their product, meaning they're offering the best product they could possibly make in hopes that you buy it. But if you have the government running the store, well, the government's going to decide which juice you get to buy, and maybe they only offer 2, or maybe they only offer 1. So you don't get a choosing of different products because capitalism is best and socialism sucks ass, and so does the government because the government sucks at everything. And I think we'll end it there because that's a pretty good end quote. The government sucks at everything. And for some reason, Democrats still want the government to run it. Wild, wild stuff. I will never come to agreement with that, but we have Dark MAGA today at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please come join us, folks, for that. You have to be a part of Rumble Premium, or if you're not part of Rumble Premium, you got to subscribe to my channel over at Rumble, so I might as well do this. You know what we haven't done in a while? Dude, let's do this, you guys. I gave you my Rumble link. Head over to Rumble. We're going to raid somebody right now. We have not raided anybody in months. Let's do that. It's been so long, I actually forgot how to raid somebody. Let's do LFA TV and let's raid them. Let's see. Let me find somebody else actually. Let's do Wendy Williams show. We haven't done Wendy in a while, and she has a great show. So let's do that. We're gonna send you guys over to Wendy. I haven't rated in so long. Plug our show. Be kind. Do not spam them too much. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later here on the Bald Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.
Pelosi.
Right?
This is their personal jail. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go to jail. I don't think they will.